Hey everyone, it's Pam from Stella Crafts by Pam, and I'm back with another Craft Your Stash Thursday. Just to recap what we've been doing, so every week we are doing this Craft Your Stash checklist, and for week 2 it is create with only 3 colors. And I will just zoom in on that a little bit so you can see what we're doing each week. So again, I have the PDF download in the description box below. All you have to go do is go to my website, add it to cart, and it's free. And then you can download it and print it and do whatever you'd like with it. During my live, you can follow along with me if you have the same type of supplies, or you can find whatever you have in your stash that might be similar, or you can watch and just sit back. It's really up to you, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So for this week I had to choose 3 colors. So I decided to pull out one of these sheets from Catherine Puller. And it has different color combos. There's a whole like pack of them. So this one I picked because 1, Valentine's Day is coming up, and 2, it has 3 colors that we can work with. So I've got Rockin' Red, Samba, and Be Mine from Catherine Puller. Hi Candy, how are you? Thanks for joining. And then the other things I'm going to be working with is I've got a sheet of 6x6 cardstock, and I had a foiled one somewhere here. Here it is. So I have one that is foiled to go with this stencil set from Tailored Expressions. It's called Mandala Layering. So this one I went ahead and I foiled it in red. So I can do this 2 ways. I can either do my ink blending on the foil it card, or I can do my ink blending right from scratch. And what I noticed about this is that the foilets don't replace just one color on the stencils. Like normally you would subtract one of your stencils and that part would be foiled already, but there's a little bit of each stencil on this foiled card. So if I hold that up here, you can see that there's dots that are already foiled in. And then we have this one that also has some dots. And then this one that has some dots. So I think what I want to do is I want to start with doing all 3 layers and see how that looks. And then if I have time, I'll do the foil it one. So to get started, I'm just going to need some teal tape, or any type of tape will do that will hold your cardstock down to your work surface. So I'm using a glass board, and this tape works well for sticking to my glass board. And then we're going to tape down one of the stencils. So they are numbered right down at the bottom. So that's a 1. So that will be our first stencil, and I'm going to also use this teal tape again to tape my stencil down. And like I mentioned last week, I recently moved my craft room down to the basement, so you may hear some background noise. Hopefully it does not affect how you can hear me. Um, it kind of is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. If you're listening to it now, it's like kind of got this bubbling sound in the background. But it's cool. All right, so I am going to start, I think, with. Let's see how these go. So I'm just kind of analyzing these. So this one does the very center. Not that it really matters, but I think for that I want to do the rockin' red, so I'm going to do the red color. And I've got some blending brushes here that I'm going to be using. I'm not sure why. No, I'm right. Okay. So we'll start off with the rockin' red. And I'm going to be careful because I just re-inked these earlier this week. And so I'm going to have to, oh man, that one's like really inked up. I think I re-inked it too much. So I'm going to put it off to the side. This is going to be great. All right. I think I'm going to tap it off on some paper. Okay. All right, so hopefully that's okay. What will happen is if you have too much ink on your brush, it will bleed through, and I do not want that. So I'm going to start off my stencil and go on. I mean, really, this is how much I would like it to apply the ink normally. Normally my pads are kind of dried out and I have to do multiple different dabs into the ink to cover my stencil. But this is actually how I like it to be. But hopefully I won't regret that. Hopefully it's not bleeding through. But one thing I'm making sure to do is I am blending where my squares are, because that's going to help me when I align up my next stencils. And if you're just popping in, feel free to let me know if the sound is okay, the video is okay. Let me know what you're up to. Maybe whether you're crafting or just sitting back and watching. And I'll blend in both directions to make sure I get inside that whole crevice. Okay, so now we can find out if that was too much ink. It most likely was, but okay. It's not horrible. I've got some bleeding here. It might be hard to see. I'll zoom in. So there's some bleeding right there, but it's not too bad. Once I do the rest of the card, you're not going to notice that. But let's see how the other inks are, because I re-inked them as well. So now I'm going to go to my stencil 2. Place that down, and I'm going to line it right up with my squares. And again, apply some teal tape. See if I can reuse this one, but having a hard time coming up. Okay. And then I'm going to unfortunately have to wipe up some of this ink. Just because I don't want the color to affect the shade of the next ink. Because the next one is Samba, which is a pinkish red. So I'm going to use this brush for that. And it also seems like it's a lot of ink. So I'm going to dab it off on my paper towel. There's always ways around it. Even if you ink up your ink pads too much, you can, take your ink pad and smush it off onto a piece of paper or a paper towel. But I'm not trying to waste that ink right now. And I'm not stamping with it. So the way that it is actually perfect. So I'm starting off the stencil and going on to the open areas. I'm going to try to make this one not as dark. Even if it is dark, it will fade back a little bit so that it's going to be a different color than the first red that I used. Because I don't want them to be the same. Or look the same, I should say. This is actually a really pretty color. This is one of my favorite colors from Catherine Pooler. So again, going in both directions. Okay. We're going to ahead, lift this one up. Okay, good. You can see a difference in the colors. I was afraid that these colors would be too close together to go with the stencil, but I think what I have in mind will work out. I have not, this is a brand new stencil to me, so last week the focus was open a new product. Apparently I'm doing that again this week. So it's new and I have not tested this out. So I'm kind of winging it tonight, guys. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with Be Mine. And I'm going to wipe up some of this ink. Apply the ink to the brush and then wipe off some of it. I'm hoping this will be a good combo. I mean, that's what the combo is. This is supposed to be more of like a pinkish purplish color. So we will see how these go together. So I just need a little bit more. Make sure I go in both directions. I think got pretty good coverage. I'll put the inks to the side, my brushes to the side. Then we can go ahead and reveal. Okay. So it's not awful. It's not my favorite color combo. I might have done, excuse me, maybe more of a warm color pink. I feel like this one has like a bluish tint to it since it's closer to like a purplish pink. But we'll see when it dries back how it looks. Okay. So I can lift this up. And I'll go ahead and clean my surface so I don't get ink everywhere. Got my Bruce Monroe craft room cleaner. Stuff smells really good if you haven't tried it before. I love it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off the back of here. Now, I know I'm only supposed to be using 3 colors, but I feel like black and white don't count. I feel like that's just a given that I'm going to use black and white, right? So, we have a white background. I want to add some black splattering. So I actually did some splattering earlier today, so I'm just pulling this back out of my container of things that need to be washed. So I'm just putting like 2 drops on here. Add a drop of water. Oh, this brush is hard. Okay. I unintentionally started splattering when I wasn't ready, but that's okay. Alright, so I like to use a fan brush like this. I don't know why it works good. It does. And I tap on my finger. And I don't mind if I get big splats or small ones. Go ahead and put this to the side. Close this up. And this is just Dr. P.H. Martin's Black Star. So it's basically just like a paint. And it comes off pretty easily as long as you clean it up right away. Alright. So for my sentiments, I pulled this Avery Elle Favorite Person. it is one of my favorite sets to use for like Valentine's Day, anniversary, love cards. And I want to do this I'm Still Madly in Love with You. But I think we can get, we either going to get one card from this or two. I think I'm going to do one card. That way I can use most of this on my card. So I'm going to go real quick and cut off these squares, and then I'm going to, or you know what? Let's use a rectangle die to die cut this. Now, because I'm sort of doing this kind of like funky and wonky, I'm going to use my Simon Says Stamp wonky rectangles to die cut this out. See, that way, if I die cut it, there's still some paper that I can utilize over on the side that I wouldn't get to if I had cut off the squares. So try to make sure it's even on top and bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and run this through my die cutting machine. So now I'm just gonna pop this out. And then I've got this fun stitching around the edge that kind of just adds to the whole funkiness of this with doing the black ink splatters. Alright. So next I want to do some type of background, or border I should say. So I'm going to grab some black. I have this black licorice cardstock from Tailored Expressions, and I'm just going to look through my scraps to see if I have anything that would do a mat on here, but I don't. So I'm going to have to cut down a new sheet. But what I'm thinking is I want to create a very small border and then add in maybe a color border, so probably either a red or probably red. I have a couple of different reds, but I think this one matches this red well, or this the ink red that we used. So let's see. So I'm thinking it's going to be like that. What do you guys think? I'm going to go ahead and cut this down. I'll be right back. So now I've got my black, so I have a tiny border, and then my red for a small border around that. So I can go ahead and adhere this to my black. This is going to be a very simple card for tonight, you guys. To be honest, I have dinner kind of waiting for me. So what I did is I cut the red mat to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then the black one I took just down 1/8 of an inch, because this sheet, the die cut this to 4 by 5 1/4, I believe. So that's how I got those measurements. Now next I want to do my sentiment, and there's 2 ways I can do this. I can either use black and put it right about there, or I have this one that I stamped in red that I could pop up. And I actually feel like this could probably use some contrast, so the black might be a little bit better. So let's get out a stamp positioner. I've got my Missy. And just put this in there. Magnets down. And I have this grid transparency that I got from Simon Says Stamp, and I use it to help line up my sentiments onto my cards so that they are straight. So I think I want to make sure that I'm not going over the stitching on this side, but I think right about there would be good. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up, take off the grid. And I think VersaFine Claire would be a good ink to use for this. So I'm just ink up my stamp. Press it down. Go ahead and do that again. And do it one more time. I'm just trying to get as dark as I can, just because it's over top of the rest of our image. All right. So so that is pretty much it for my card tonight. I know it's very simple, but like I said, I've got dinner waiting for me. So here it is up close. And this would make a great anniversary card or Valentine's Day card, either one. But yeah, so just want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'll catch you guys next week on the next live.